Welcome to the Outer Hebrides. You're with Jonathan and Jennifer, and we are on the island of Lewis and Harris in the city of Stornoway, and you're on our Cruise Ports channel. In this video, we'll give you access to the island, how to get around, what to do, and take you on a tour of Lews Castle. So Stornoway is this very sheltered harbor, and when the Vikings first came, they would call it a steering bay, which over time became Stornoway. So as you get out to the Outer Hebrides, it is a chain of islands. We have Bata way down at the south, and then we come up to Harris and Lewis. And Harris and Lewis is considered one island because it is one island, but they're definitely two distinctly different parts. So you have Harris down at the bottom, Lewis up at the top, and Stornoway is the capital of Lewis, and then you have Tarbert, which is down the capital of Harris. Stornoway does not have a brewery anymore. Lots of whiskey and lots of gin coming around here, but no brewery. Harris, on the other hand, does have a brewery, so you can get down to Tarbert and do a brewery. If you're going around Lewis and want to see the sights, you've got the Butt of Lewis up at the top, and then you have Callanish, and that has the Standing Stones, and that's over on the western side of the island. And I think if you're renting a car, it's not going to be a hard thing. There's essentially one road that goes around the islands and does some cutting across, but you're not going to get tremendously lost. In this video, we'll give you an overview of the port town, some things to do while you're here, and some ways to get around if you'd like to get out of Stornoway and into the rest of the island. So where we are docked here in Stornoway, we are about 4 miles outside of town. So when you come into the port, there will be buses, shuttles that will take you into town. With a population just under 7,000, Stornoway is the third largest city in the outer islands of Scotland. Orkney has Kirkwall, which is bigger, and the Shetland Islands have Lerwick, which is bigger. The Outer Hebrides, or the Western Isles, boasts Stornoway as its capital and the only real city in the Outer Hebrides. You've probably heard of the Isle of Skye, which is also a western island off the coast of Scotland, but it is connected to the mainland by a bridge, which makes it really accessible. The Outer Hebrides are about 46 miles off the coast and much more difficult to get to. They are accessible by cruise ship or ferry. There is an airport on the island, and you can fly from mainland Scotland. Flights from Edinburgh or Glasgow really just take about an hour. The most common ferry route is from Ullapool, and it takes just under 3 hours. Weather in Stornoway can be both harsh and mild. In the winter, lows are about 36 degrees Fahrenheit, 0 Celsius, and highs are in the 40s. In the summers, which is probably the most likely time you'll be visiting by cruise ship, the lows are going to be in the 40s and the highs will be in the low 60s. Rain is very common, although June is the driest month of the year. And if you are in the winter months, one of the peculiarities about the Outer Hebrides is that they have more hail than anywhere else recorded on Earth. Suffice it to say, storms here can be fierce, but those are predominantly in the winter months. If you're visiting in the summer, it's likely that you'll have some rain, but you'll also probably have some sun. The shuttle will take you right into town and drop you at a central drop-off point right by the harbor. There will be people there that can help you to manage the bus system, even giving you the next bus to the next location and help you figure out a schedule for the day. It's definitely worth stopping off there at first just to kind of get yourself oriented, pick up a map, and figure out what you want to do with your time. And this is your shuttle stop station right here. If you're wanting to do some kind of a private tour, you can hire a taxi. You probably want to prearrange that, as this is a relatively small island and limited suppliers. Another option is just to use the bus system in town, and if you stop by the tourist office, they can give you the bus schedule, and there's a bus that will take you out to the Standing Stones if that's something you're really interested in seeing. They're beautiful, and there is a little cafe out there as well, so you could make kind of a day of it and take the bus out to the Standing Stones.
To just sit on the bus and come back. It's either to Tolster or through to Point.
Okay.
So there's one at 12:40.
Okay.
Goes to goes to Tolster. Gets there about 1:20.
So then you sort of have to turn around and...
You just stay on there. So 1:20. Yeah. So get back here about 2:00.
Okay. Okay.
I mean, you could get off. When do you have to be back there?
No, it'd be too close, I
12
think.
o'clock's the last one.
Okay.
And then there's one to Point, but I would think the Tolster one's probably more scenic.
Okay.
They both say the same number, W5, although technically Tolster's W5A. If you go to the bus station and say, I want to go to Tolster, which stand do I stay?
Yeah. And where is the bus station from here?
It's number 11 on your map. Have you got this?
Okay.
So number 11 here. So if you just walk down this road, cross over the pedestrian crossing, straight down here to the town hall, you'll see the bus station on your left-hand side.
Okay. Excellent. Perfect. Okay. So the best way to get around here is going to be by the public bus. And there is a bus station in town. Head down there. They're willing to help you. They'll make sure you get on the right bus to the right place. And you can literally just stay on the bus and travel around and get a tour of the island. That might be the best way to do Stornoway. So essentially, if you start in Stornoway and head over to Callanish, that will get you where you can see the Standing Stones, and then you can follow the road up through Arnold all the way up to the butt of Lewis. But there's not a road that's going to take you in to finish the circle off back to Stornoway, so you're going to have to come back and cut across down to Stornoway again. Town itself is bustling, lots to do and great shops. They all open around 10 a.m. in the morning. So if you're just coming into town to have some time in town, crew members, there's a co-op right across the street from where the shuttle drops you. That's kind of nice. Lots of restaurants and shops here. This is a tourist town in the sense that if you're coming out to the Outer Hebrides, Stornoway is probably where you're going. And so you're going to find souvenirs and gifts and good stuff like that. But it's also a town where people live. So you've got grocery stores and pharmacies and the things you need for daily life. The Isle of Lewis and Harris is the home of Harris Tweed, so if you're shopping, that may be on your list. But this is also a culture vibrant with music, artisanal crafts, and a lot of arts. That really impressed me about what I saw here and the things that I saw available. The Stornoway Historic Society is a iconic building that sits right at the center of town and provides access to the shopping street. Directly behind the drop-off point is the port and harbor area. You've got a couple of iconic statues, a view of the castle, and sailing boats going in and out. This is also the RNLI headquarters for the area, and it's a peaceful place to watch fishing boats and pleasure boats heading into and out of the harbor. Stornoway is a city on the water. You're going to have harbors everywhere. And if you come down to the harbor through the town, you've got a castle back up just the hill. And you can walk up to there from town, and there's a museum, a cafe, and lots of history inside. So certainly if you're into castles and you're in the Outer Hebrides, that might be a great stop. So a visit to Lews Castle, if you're staying in town, would probably be the thing to do. You'll walk up the street to the left of the drop-off point, and you'll see the small pedestrian bridge that goes over the river. You'll go ahead and cross that bridge and enjoy the views on the way to the woodland area. So just across the harbor there is a small bridge, footbridge, that you can pass over that will take you up to Lews Castle. And that's where we're headed now. You go through the Lews Castle grounds, which is a deeply forested woodland, really beautiful, and offers a little protection from the rain. Just one moment ago down at the harbor, it was a sunny day and we were seeing reflections in the water. Things change. And literally within a moment, we've gotten a bit of a downpour. Not a problem. You just need to know. Bring a jacket, wear a hat. There's a good chance of rain some point in your day in Scotland. There's really good signage if you're walking up to the castle, and you'll see there's a place to walk over to the woodland grounds. So at the path, you're going to find a golf course to the right. And if you continue going straight, you'll hit the castle and the museum. If you're looking to go to the Woodland Center or the Boatman's House, you'll take a left and go over the Red Bridge. The walk up to the castle will take you about 10 minutes. There's a slight slope, but it's so beautiful and lots to look at along the way. The Scots and the Picts were the first settlers in the Isle of Lewis and Harris. And this isn't the first castle that was erected here. And Stornoway Castle was the first castle on this site overlooking the harbor. The Vikings came in the 8th and the 9th centuries, but then in 1600, Seaforth Lodge was erected here by the Mackenzies. But in 1847, it all changed. Opium trader James Matheson went ahead and built the castle that we see behind us at that time. He died 31 years later, and the castle was passed down through his family. But it wasn't too much later, in 1918, when Lord Leverhulme who purchased it, and he had these grand plans. He was going to do big things with it, and so it really surprised everybody when just 6 years later, he ended up gifting it to the town of Stornoway. And it became public land, so now it's enjoyed by everybody. And in fact, if you're interested in enjoying it, there are rooms available and a cafe, so come on in. The ground floor of the castle is open to the public, and there are large rooms available for venue events. The large double staircase leads to the private rooms, which you can rent out. Staircase allows you only to go to the landing and then you'll be turned around unless you're an overnight guest. The cafe is also on this ground floor and is open to both the castle side as well as the museum side of the property. It is a full-service cafe with snacks and drinks to go or to eat in. And at the back of the cafe is a gift shop with locally sourced items and souvenirs symbolic of Stornoway. our other videos from Scottish ports like Lerwick, Greenock, Invergordon, Kirkwall, and South Queensferry.